Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So a couple weeks ago I did a video called Full Face of the Most Reliable Makeup, and I asked you guys if you wanted to see a full drugstore version. I did use a couple of drugstore products in the last video I created of this, but I wanted to create an entire drugstore tutorial using products that I trust from the drugstore, that are affordable, that work really well, that I absolutely love. So I used those products and I created this makeup look, so I hope you guys like it. This is the look I'm going to be showing you how to create today. Also, this week I want to do a Q&A video, so I'll maybe do like a chit chat, get ready with me Q&A video, so please leave your questions for me in the comments below so that I can create a video answering those questions. Before we get into this tutorial, as always, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, join the family, become a part of the squad, and if you guys want to get notified each time I upload, just make sure to click the little bell after you subscribe, and that'll just mean that you'll be told every time I upload so you can be one of the first people to watch it. So if you guys want to see how I got this look using all of my most reliable products from the drugstore, then just keep watching. So I already did my brows off camera, as usual. I did my drugstore brow routine. Of course, my current favorite brow pencil right now from the drugstore is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Shape and Fill Pencil. Today I actually mixed blonde and brown. A lot of times I've been using just blonde alone, but I wanted to try the brown to see, or the brunette I think it's called, just to see how it would look, and it's not bad. I still think I like the blonde better, but mixed it looks fine. So I filled in my brows with that, and then I sculpted out the top and bottom using the Maybelline Better Skin concealer. I really like this concealer for around the brows. I'll be sharing another concealer with you later for like actually on the face, but that's what I used for my brow routine for drugstore brows. So to prep the eyes, I'm going to use my favorite drugstore concealer right now. I do love the Maybelline Fit Me concealer as well, but this is the one that lasts even longer and just looks really good all day. For me, and in my opinion, it is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser Concealer. This one's in the shade Light, and I'm going to use this to prep the eyelid. So I'm just going to put a light layer all over the lid, and then I'm going to take my mini Aesthetica beauty sponge and just pat that out. I'm going to go ahead and set that concealer down with the NYX HD Finishing Powder. This one's in the shade Banana. I love this powder so much. So I'm just going to take that on a little blending brush and just set the concealer. This does a really good job of brightening as well as setting any liquid products. So when I was thinking about reliable eyeshadows, I couldn't help but think of Morphe, and I was debating whether to put this in the video or not because it's technically not like drugstore, but Ulta does carry it now, so it kind of is technically drugstore. So I'm going to be using the Morphe 350 palette. I feel like a lot of you guys may have this palette, and it's just such good quality. Honestly, these eyeshadows are so good. They blend out so well. They're super pigmented. The metallics especially are gorgeous. So I chose to use this palette today because it really is a trustworthy type of palette, and I believe these are $23, which is insane for the amount of shadows that you get. So if you haven't tried anything from Morphe yet, I would highly recommend doing so because the quality of the shadows are really amazing. So I'm going to be dipping into this shade right here, and this is going to be our transition shade. So I'm just going to lightly sweep it back and forth in the crease and slightly above, and then I always pull it out toward the end of the brow as well and just blend it until it looks good and blended. So next I'm going to be hopping into this shade right here for all over the lid. I honestly don't know if I've really used this shade much, but I was playing around with this yesterday in preparation for this tutorial, and I just really liked how it looked all over the lid. So I'm just going to take the other side of that same brush, and I'm just going to pack that color all over the lid. It's a really pretty like shimmery ivory pink shade, which is honestly not a color that I, gravitate toward naturally, but I thought that I would try something a little different today. So to add some depth, I'm going to go into the shade right underneath the shade we just used. And I'm going to start to press this into the outer third of the top lashes. And then I'm going to kind of buff it on this outer V here and into the crease. So to add even more depth, I'm going to hop into this really nice dark brown shade, and I'm really going to add some depth to this outer third, kind of building on top of where we just applied the shadow, but not as far into the crease as the last one. I just want some more depth in this outer third here. I'm just going over with that brush we used first with no extra product on it. I just want to blend everything out through the crease. So for eyeliner, I'm going to pull out an old favorite of mine. I used this all throughout high school. I actually had to pick up another bottle because mine was completely just too old. And so I wanted to pull this out again and recommend it to you guys because it has always been one of my favorite eyeliners. I just, hadn't repurchased it for a long time. It comes with a little brush, but it's the Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Liner. This is in Blackest Black. I love this stuff. It does come with a brush, but I may use a smaller brush just because I don't have too much lid space. I like to use a more precise brush sometimes to get a really nice thin line on my lash line. So this is the Sigma winged eyeliner brush. I think I'm just going to use this. It's so smooth and so creamy. And I just want to create a really nice thin line really close to the lashes to just really enhance them and make them look really full and voluminous. And I like to start out really thin in the inner corner. And as I work outwards, I like the liner to become thicker. I'm just going to do the tiniest little wing. I don't want anything too harsh, but I'm just going to give it a slight little wing. And hopefully you can tell already that this lash line appears really full versus this lash line. So it's a really great eyeliner and a really great way to enhance your lash line. So I'm just going to do the same thing to the other side. So now I'm just going to clean up any fallout that may have gotten underneath the eye, and I'm just going to wipe that away with a makeup wipe, being careful not to ruin this eyeliner. So for primer, I honestly haven't tried that many at the drugstore, but the one that I do like is from L'Oreal. It's the Visible Lift Radiance Brightening Primer. I also really like the True Match Lumi Primer. Those are kind of the only ones that I have tried before. I'm not sure if either of them really help to make my makeup last longer, but I do like how they look in prepping the skin. So I'm just going to apply this all over. For foundation, you probably could have guessed already, I'm going to go into my favorite drugstore foundation. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I've been using this for a couple years now, and it never lets me down. I love it so much, and I know I've used it in a lot of tutorials here on my channel, so it might not be a surprise, but if you haven't tried this out and you're looking for a really affordable drugstore foundation, give this a shot. So I like to mix the shades 120 and 112 for my perfect shade. I'm just going to mix that on the back of my hand and then apply this all over the face. I'm going to start with a brush first, and then I might pat it in with a sponge. So now I'm going to be taking my Aesthetica Beauty Sponge and just pressing this into the skin for a more natural finish. For concealer, I'm going to mix the light and fair shades of that Maybelline Age Rewind concealer underneath the eyes and then down the center of the face. And then I'm going to take my mini Aesthetica Beauty Sponge and just blend that out. To set the under eyes, I'm going to use one of my favorite drugstore powders. I love this. I did use this actually in my Full Face of Reliable makeup. I just have always loved this, but it is drugstore, so I'm going to reuse it in this tutorial. I'm just going to dip the sponge actually directly into the pan, just like that. Get a good amount of powder on, and then I'm going to press it underneath the eyes to set and to brighten. Then I'm going to take some of that same powder down the center of the face. And then I wanted to share with you guys one of my other favorite powders. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in the shade Translucent. I'm just going to put this on a little brush, and we're going to brush away the excess powder from the NYX powder, as well as set the rest of the face with this. So let's go back to the eyes. I'm just going to start with this shade right here. Just start to work this on the lower lash line, blending it into the shadows on the outer edge. And then I'm just going to take that same brush and go in with that pink shimmer shade we used on the lid and just lightly dust it on the inner third of the lower lash line. And then I'm going to mix these two shades that we used on the top lid, and I'm just going to deepen up the outer third of the lower lash line using these. So another eyeliner that I really like the formula of is the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner. I'm going to use this one. This is in the shade Honey Dude, and I'm just going to line the inner rim of the eyes, and this will just really brighten and open up the eyes. So since I also used a drugstore mascara in my original Most Reliable makeup tutorial, I'm going to go in with another one that I love from the drugstore. This is the L'Oreal Luminous Lash Paradise Mascara. I really do love this, so I'm going to pop this on the top and bottom lashes. So for bronzer, obviously you guys probably know by now, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is my go-to. I do have another bronzer that I will use with this, but I'm just going to kind of initially sculpt, and then I'll show you the other bronzer that I like to use as well. So I'm just going to apply this to the cheekbones and just around the perimeter of the face. So my other favorite bronzer is the Milani Baked Bronzer. This one's in the shade 05 Soleil. And I just like to take the lightest amount. I'm just going to use that same brush. And I love how this looks dusted across the forehead. It kind of has like a terracotta undertone. So it really just adds that sun-kissed glow to the skin. I'm going to add it to the cheeks as well. I just think it's so pretty. I love it. And then I'm just going to take that brush that we used for translucent powder and just lightly dust over top to make sure everything is blended out and there's no harsh lines. For blush, this is one of my favorites. Obviously, I do love the Physicians Formula Butter blushes, and also the Flower Beauty blush is another great one. But the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Blush is one that I've been using for a very long time, and I do love this. I love it because of the color. It's really, really vibrant, but when you just put the slightest amount on your cheeks, it makes you look so healthy. I really love this blush. Just the color brings your face to life, I feel. For highlighters, I actually have two that I'm obsessed with. The first one I've mentioned so many times, and this was recommended to me by you guys, and I'm so happy. It is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This is a really great, like, natural, more subtle, buildable highlight, so if you're into that, you would really like this. Something a little bit more bold and more golden is the Maybelline Master Chrome Highlighter. So I'm actually going to mix the two of these today because I love them both and I can't choose. So I'm going to start off with the Maybelline Master Chrome and just do a nice light layer of that all over the high points of the face. And then I'm going to layer the Essence highlighter on top of that. Woo, I love this one. So I'm also going to take a mixture of both of those highlighters, but a little bit more of the Essence highlight on just a small brush, and I'm going to use this to highlight the inner corner of the eye, as well as right underneath the brow. So for setting spray, the setting spray that I'm loving right now that's affordable, it's not at the drugstore, you'll have to go on morphe.com, but it is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This is something that I've been using for just a couple weeks, but I love it. I love the finish that it gives on the skin. If you're looking for something that may actually be at the drugstore, I do love the Milani Make It Dewy Setting Spray for a more luminous finish. And then for just like a normal, like long-lasting oil control spray, I really like the Kiss Pro Touch Makeup Setting Spray. So those are a couple other options. I am going to be using the Morphe one just because that is my current favorite. So I'm just going to quickly spray this all over the face. I feel like the drugstore carries some of the most amazing mascaras, but in addition to mascara, I do love drugstore false lashes. I don't wear false lashes a ton. My favorites are the individual lashes and then the Ardell Demi Wispies. I don't have the Demi Wispies on hand, so I'm just going to be using the Kiss Ritzy Natural Black Lashes. These are the lashes that I used in my last video, and they are amazing as well. So I thought that, you know, even though I haven't used these for a while, I would recommend trying them out because I really love them. I lost the glue. Here it is. So I'm just going to pop these lashes on just for that added effect. Obviously this is optional. You don't need to add these, but I thought that I would mention my favorite pairs just in case. I just love how those lashes look, honestly. I think they're so pretty. So for lip liner, I'm going to go into one of my favorites. I would highly recommend trying these lip liners out. The color range is beautiful. The formula is beautiful. I'm obsessed. These are the L'Oreal Color Riche Matte Lip Liners. The one I'm going to use today is called Matte's It. It's number 110. I'm just going to use this to line and then fill in my lips. Isn't that color of lip liner so pretty? Like, you could totally just wear this by itself and maybe put a gloss on top and you'd be good to go. But I did want to share with you guys my most reliable drugstore lipstick. This will also probably not come as a surprise to a lot of you if you've been here for a minute, but I love the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipsticks. If you use these wrong, it's going to be so easy to hate them. But if you use a really light layer, as light as possible, and you really let it dry down, these do not budge. And the color range is gorgeous. The color that I want to use today is called Petal Potion. It's the number 372. So I'm just going to apply this color right on top of the liner. So I'm not sure if that lip combo was my favorite. I almost liked just the liner by itself, but I did want to show you guys my most reliable actual lipstick. Maybe I should have gone in with a different shade, but oh well, it's kind of fun. I don't know. So for brows, I love this. This is the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer. I've heard some of you guys say that you like the one from L'Oreal better. I haven't tried that yet. So far, this is my favorite, but I will have to give that one a shot. If you have tried this and it's not for you, maybe try out the L'Oreal one. I don't know what it's called exactly, but maybe I'll link it down below. The shade that I have in this is soft brown, and I'm just going to run this through the brows. Usually after I put that through my brows, I like to take a spoolie and just kind of comb through a little bit more to make it blend nicer and look a little more natural. I'm actually just going down the center of my face again with the Rimmel matte powder just because I love the center of my face to be nice and matte, and making sure to set the smile lines as well. So there you have it. This is the final look that I created using all of my most reliable drugstore makeup. I hope you guys like this makeup look. As always, comment down below and let me know what your most reliable drugstore makeup items are, because it's so fun for me to read through the comments, and then we can also help each other out. Let me know what your guys' favorites are. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button on your way out if you did not already, and I will see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye!